Hey guys, thanks for listening and welcome to this call-in show. Just wanted to remind you that you could join our lovely listeners, Jesselyn, Shannon, and Mia, by getting on our Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod, where for $5 a month, you can do your very own slot here and talk with Sarah and I. Or if you want to pay a little more, you could do your own guest episode. That could be cool. We would love to see you there, and we're always adding value and new things, including the new version of the stickers first to the patrons, over 120 bonus episodes, the entire back catalog ad-free. Oh yeah, I know that matters to some of you who like to sleep to the pod. Just reminds me that maybe I am a little boring. Anyway, we're always trying to spice it up, happy hours, etc. You get it. Without further ado, here's the call-in show. We welcome Jess to the call-in show. Jess from Texas. How are you today, Jess?
Good. How are y'all?
There we go. Dropping the y'all. We love to see it. So I was telling you, you said you're from Texas, and I said, do you know what my dad said when we actually emergency landed once in Texas. We didn't go there like on purpose or anything. Sorry, Jess, I'm being mean.
Ouch. There's no reason to.
We emergency landed in Texas, and we walk out of the the little jet bridge thing, and my dad goes loudly, "All my exes are in Texas." And my mother was beyond mortified, and all the people looked at us like, this guy.
Why did you emergency land?
It was actually really, really weird. I was very young. I believe I was 9. And there was a guy next to me on the plane who had like a GPS tracker. Like, I don't know how this guy travels.
Like a Garmin? That's weird.
Yeah. And he goes, the plane has been slowly losing speed over the course of the flight. And I was like, okay, that sounds bad. And when we landed, there were fire trucks and ambulances chasing the plane.
What?
Yeah, nothing happened. I mean, it was an emergency landing, but the emergency was, I don't know what it was. It was something wrong with the plane. The plane was sick.
That is wild.
All right. Well, we've got a very juicy situation. Sarah, she's usually playing it safe, but she's bringing it back to controversial town. Jess, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
AITA for deleting photos from my boyfriend's phone. Sarah, you sly girl. Here we go.
This could have been a good guess the verdict. Let's do it.
23F and my boyfriend, let's call him CJ, 28 male, have been together for almost 2 years. On Sunday, we went swimming in a nearby shallow river. Okay.
I like that she had to specify that it was both a river and shallow.
Yeah, just a little, this kind of a superficial LA kind of river, very judgmental river. Our friends, also a couple, have their favorite spot there, an excellent spot to lay down our picnic. Long story short, I wore my new one-piece bikini, thinking it looked great on me.
Hold on. That's an oxymoron. I just realized that.
Why? What?
One-piece bikini. That can't be.
Too.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's
does
crazy
not compute.
Talk. Is it because maybe there's like tiny strings or something? I don't know. Clothes
it could,
works.
Yeah, it could be like they make one pieces now that like almost are a bikini, except there's like a thin strip of fabric somewhere that connects the two pieces. So maybe that's what it was about.
Wild. NB. Yeah. What does NB mean?
I don't know. OP kept saying it throughout, like, like as a sort of way of saying aside or just like in a parenthetical, but I did not know what that meant.
NB. What the hell is
First time NB? I was like non-binary, and then I was like, no, that's not the context here. I don't get it at all.
Okay. According to Macmillan Dictionary, wow, this is a deep cut.
Macmillan?
It's used for saying you should pay particular attention to the information that follows from the Latin expression nota bene, I'm saying it Italian style, meaning note well. Okay.
Are you serious?
That's what it says.
I've never heard that before.
And B, okay, back to OP. I consider myself overweight. I look overweight as well, and I have a binging problem that started with the first corona lockdown. I've gained over 20 kilograms in the past 2 years, and I hate it. I hate myself for it. Oh boy.
Jeez.
I also fasted for a whole day before wearing the bikini. CJ and I were having a perfect time in the river, being flirty and all. And so in my confidence, I asked my friend to take a couple of photos of us with my phone. She couldn't find it, so she took the first phone which she found laying there. My boyfriend's. We started posing and she took some pictures. The day continued normally, but on the way back home on the train, CJ falls asleep and I couldn't. So my body dysmorphic thoughts started racing in my brain because of how much I ate at lunch. And so I remembered that we took photos on CJ's phone. So I thought seeing myself in the new bikini would make me feel better. NB.
Here's the thing about putting NB in parentheses. It feels like another oxymoron. Like you want me to pay special attention to it, but you're putting in the sort of whisper punctuation.
Is it a parenthetical? What is it?
Exactly.
We don't have NB. We don't have passcodes on our phones. We use each other's phones all the time. No secrets kept. So it's not a problem. If I open his phone. Okay, this is a security risk. The photos were ugly. I looked ugly, fat, and huge, whereas he looked perfect as always. I couldn't help myself, and I deleted them immediately without thinking twice. I didn't want to see myself that way, not even as a private memory that we keep for ourselves. I was in such a bad mood when we arrived home that I told CJ what I did. I said I didn't like the pictures, so I deleted them. He got super mad, and he threw his phone on the ground. He started yelling about how much I just keep on nagging about my weight, and that he loves me no matter how I look. He said I betrayed his trust because these pictures were memories of him too, and that I ruined his whole day just by doing that. He is still mad at me in a way. I told him I saw a monster standing with him in those pictures and that I was disgusted with the way my body was. The last thing he said about the situation is, let's forget this ever happened. From now on, don't change anything on my phone. So AITA.
Damn. I feel for this OP. Like, this is really sad.
Yeah. Right off the bat, I think no, she's not the asshole because...
Oh boy.
I think, but it is wrong. It's wrong to do that, but she's not an asshole. It's okay to have feelings, negative feelings sometimes about yourself. And if she didn't like the pictures, she shouldn't have just deleted them though. Just told him not to post them maybe, and he could have kept them for his own memories.
Danny?
Well, I love that you brought us here, Sarah. I mean, I think, to see her side, she's not hiding the fact she has body dysmorphia. So, she knows that these are, exaggerated perceptions of herself. They're not perceptions shared by other people. She understands this on a rational level, but she has an emotional issue with her body. So I understand it. But what she did is wrong. I don't think there's any way around that. It's his phone, and they might practice this open phone policy. Personally, find it a little ridiculous, almost implausible. But whatever, we'll play it as it lays.
Some people are like that.
Yeah. And I guess in this case, we run into an issue because we have this very odd logistics here, because we actually can get into the mechanics of, well, were they his photos? That actually is a little hairy in this situation.
Well, who is the photographer? They probably own the copyright.
Exactly. This brings me to the monkey that took selfies. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it's a favorite of mine. We love a monkey, and the monkey, this photographer left this camera out, and the monkeys took pictures of themselves. And he claimed those were his photos, and I believe he lost in court. And they said those
against
are the monkeys' photos. In other words, he couldn't claim that he owned them. It's not that the monkeys got to own them, because I don't think that exists in the law. But they are public domain photos. He did not get to claim ownership.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
It's pretty brutal because, this guy did a lot of work to be able to set up a situation where the monkeys could take selfies with a professional camera. But
right. A lot of trust in those monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little tough because we're getting into a weird area of who do the photos belong to? Is it the photographer? Is it the person whose device is used? I mean, are they his photos? It's actually kind of a different question than I expected us to talk about.
I didn't expect us to get into a legal perspective. Danny's been watching too much Camille Vasquez TikTok, but the one thing that...
Miss Levine, I watched the correct amount.
Objection. I will say though, I can ding OP for the obvious reasons, but I can also ding the boyfriend, because throwing your phone on the ground, yelling, and pitching a fit, saying that her actions that he didn't even know about ruined the whole day. Like, that to me feels like an outsized reaction too.
I agree.
100%. Go ahead, Jess.
I was just saying I agree with Sarah. That's outrageous to react like that to someone deleting your photos.
I would be scared if someone did that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, throwing things and stuff like this over something that I think didn't warrant. But here's the thing. I think first of all, I will specifically dig him on, this has been done to me. You ruin the whole day. Now, this is ridiculous and manipulative.
Right. The
That's
day's
not how
over.
days work. The day's over.
Exactly. The day's over. You didn't even know about this until just now. Like,
it doesn't go back in time and retroactively ruin the day. That's ridiculous. That's manipulative, and I ding him for that. I do not ding him for getting angry, and I don't think the reaction is necessarily outsized. I think we're getting a slice of life here, but I think
throwing your phone.
Well, hear me out. We see that OP is very transparent about the fact that they have body dysmorphia. You don't think it's been a factor in this relationship before?
Yeah, I get it, obviously, but I still think throwing things and yelling is pretty scary.
Well, of course, it's not a normal way to react
Not
at all.
Not to mention, do you think these photos are really deleted? You could probably just recover them. They're in a recently deleted folder.
That's what I was thinking.
I think that's not playing it as it lays. So you're saying she just deleted them out of the album, and so they're in the recently deleted folder. I mean, yeah, but now we're getting to the mechanics.
Most people don't think to do that when they delete photos. They just delete it from the camera roll.
I know, it gives me anxiety, but because one time I didn't have any money to pay for something, and I let them take a picture of my ID, and I wanted to make sure they deleted it out of that folder too.
That is smart, but I kind of think if you're just in a insecure body dysmorphia, mood, and you're just deleting a bad picture, to me, I do that all the time. I go through my camera roll, I delete bad pictures. I don't go and then delete it from the recently deleted.
It takes 30 days. The iPhone deletes it after 30 days.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think they were his photos. They were on his device. If he had a passcode, I don't even think this would be debatable, She went and she took something that was his, and those were his memories. She's open about the fact that she's body dysmorphic. She doesn't seem to be saying anything about getting this worked on because this is toxic.
Right.
This is obviously impacting their relationship. So I will ding him for the rage fit, but I'm pulling a Hemda on this and saying if it's hysterical, it's historical. And I think even looking at what he says. And by the way, I've been in this position. I had a girlfriend that was, always on herself, and it was difficult because it's well, I think you're hot, and I don't know. I feel like this is affecting this relationship negatively, and I think what she did isn't okay. Do I have you guys on that? Not okay to go into someone's phone and delete their photos.
But here's the thing. Agree. But I think just because it's historical doesn't give you a green light to say something manipulative, yell, throw things.
Yeah, but it was a reaction as well. It was an impulsive reaction. It was toxic for sure, though.
So I'm not giving him the pass on that, really. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. Sugar Soul, top comment on Reddit, writes, YTA, you're allowed to go on his phone, but that doesn't mean you can start deleting stuff he's got on it. Yes, it was a picture of you that you dislike, but it was also a picture of him. It was a memory he was entitled to keep. At the very least, you should have waited until he was awake to discuss how you were feeling and ask if he would consider deleting it for your sake. A healthy relationship has to have trust and communication. If your body dysmorphia is reaching a point where you feel like a monster, so much so that you're willing to overstep a boundary without asking just for some peace of mind, it may be time for therapy.
Definitely.
Yep.
See if we got anything else. A lot of YTAs on Reddit. I feel like we're leaning not YTA in this group. I'm sensing. Man, it's all YTAs. Chuck and Hoot X, no assholes here. Wild. This is a wild person.
That's just wrong objectively. Sorry.
It has 0 upvotes, so I don't know how much credibility we can put there.
Well, we have unfinished emotions with a -4. ESH, I totally understand body dysmorphia and the struggle that entails. However, you definitely shouldn't have deleted the photos without talking to him first. On the other hand, his reaction seems a bit much if this is the first time you've done something like this.
It's not. I mean, I think it's obviously not. They've been together 2 years. You're telling me this is a brand new thing? She never said it was brand new. This has come up before.
I'm sure it's come up before, but...
He even mentions how it's come up before,
Right.
He started yelling about how much I just kept on nagging about my weight. So this is a
that probably means she's
issue.
Making comments,
It's a thing. It affects her self-esteem probably on a daily basis.
Constantly.
I am thinking that his reaction was inappropriate. He threw the phone. He hit a rage fit. I think, I hate to be cliched, but this is just a double get therapy situation because...
Facts.
They're unhappy. And I would lean a little harder on her though. He did have a rage fit, but I think I think it was because this has been a constant factor in their relationship to the point where she's overstepping a boundary because of her issue.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean, I think body issues are pretty all consuming. Like, you can't escape your body. That's it. So I can have sympathy, but I agree. It's probably come out in a lot of ways that she hasn't realized.
Jess, what do you think?
I don't know. I tend to y'all are talking about these kind of sort of hypotheticals and y'all go into like a speculation, And so I'm thinking, well, maybe he perceives her, maybe she mentions it like once a week, which is a little too much, I guess. But if it's like once a week and she's like, oh, I look so fat, I hate my body. And then he views that as, oh, it's all the time. I don't know. I think everyone sucks here. My opinion.
I'm with you.
I'm willing to meet there. AITA for deleting photos from my boyfriend's phone. I think we agree. Everyone sucks here.
We do.
Well, Jess, thank you so much for joining us and wishing you a wonderful Texas evening. Are you getting any Texas activity? In my mind, everything in Texas is very Texas-y. There's no...
Yeah. I have 8 chickens, 4 goats, 4 ducks.
Hell yeah.
I'm about to go feed them all and... Aww. Give them water and stuff.
All right, let me ask you, because, I'm really bonding with my birds at my park, and I got a new take on ducks. I think ducks are real weird. I think and let me ask you, do you perceive that ducks are kind of loners? Sometimes I'll just see a duck just all alone. No. I'm like, what are you doing, dog? You got nobody?
My 4 only travel in group. And they don't leave each other. They run, if they're running across the yard, they all run together. They run around together. They just stay in their little group. It's really cute, but I didn't want them. But that's what it is.
Send us a pic of your animals. We'd love to put that on the Twitter. Send us your animals.
Okay.
We love these creatures.
I love ducks.
Okay.
All right.
I can do that.
Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
We welcome Mia to the call-in show. Mia from Chicago. Mia, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you. Of course, we're joined by Sarah as well, who is taking her glasses off. Whoa, wow.
The glare is so bad, but now I really can't see. That's the problem. I can't see like 6 inches in front of my face.
It's very hard. Glare is a real problem for me. Mia, tell us about what's going on. I mean, look, I happen to know what's going on. You're currently in California and you're doing community theater. Isn't that right?
Yes. So right now I'm acting in a play called Exit Pursued by a Bear by Lauren Gunderson. I play the role of Sweetheart, who is a aspiring actress by day and stripper by night. And she is helping this other woman, Nan, basically perform scenes retelling the story of her abusive husband. And she does it in front of him together. He's also duct taped to a chair and surrounded by venison to lure bears in to attack him.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's a revenge comedy. It's really, really good.
Love it.
That does sound good. I'm into it.
So, folks, we do have a juicy sitch for you. But please rate, review, subscribe, and share. Join us on Patreon, and you could be just like me and join us on a call-in show. Here we go. AITA for telling my friend that her open relationship is making her look dumb. I recently met up with a friend who called me up and told me she was struggling with depression. I hadn't seen her in a while, so we went on a friend date to see dinner and a movie. Surely she meant eat dinner and watch a movie. You wouldn't generally just
look at the dinner.
There it is. They're sure enjoying it. While we were at dinner, we were talking about our relationships. We met our partners around the same time over a year ago. She told me that she and her partner decided to have an open relationship. Although the relationship is open, he's sleeping with people. She is not. This guy is living at her house, not paying any bills, and sleeping with other women. I told her that he was making her look like a plum fool.
A plum fool?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Plum fool.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm not a plum fool.
Reminds me of that poem about, I think it's William Carlos Williams, who like eats all his roommates' plums or something like that.
I'm no plum fool. I'm a prude moron, I'll have you know.
There we go.
Back off.
There's levels.
Making her look like a plum fool, and that it might be the reason she's feeling depressed and has low self-esteem. She went off about how I'm uptight and judgmental. She said that I don't have the confidence to share my partner. I told her that I surely don't, and that she's sharing her partner, but he's not sharing her. And maybe if she didn't share a partner, she wouldn't call me and tell me how ugly she's feeling and how depressed she is.
Oh boy.
We ended our friend date, obviously. Before I hear from some other people, I like to know if I came off as an asshole. I apologize if I do. From my perspective, I was just telling her the hard truth as I saw it. AITA.
Wow.
I feel like there's a lot to unpack here. There's actually quite a bit going on.
Yeah. So I feel like the thing with open relationships is both people have to be equally into it.
Yeah.
Which does not necessarily mean both people have to be getting laid the same amount by other people. It's more so like if you feel 100% confident and loved and trustworthy in your relationship, then it doesn't matter what the numbers are or how equal it is, I feel. But it sounds like this girl is not feeling like it's equal because she talks about how ugly she's feeling. And that's not, it's like, okay, well, clearly there's something to unpack there.
I feel like open relationships can be like totally legit, but I also feel like a lot of people, or I don't even know if I can quantify it as a lot, but people will kind of use it as a way to cheat and have it be technically okay. Or
yeah. I guess it would depend on how it came about. Like, was it a mutual agreement? Did one person have to kind of, push to get the other person to agree? Because that's where it goes south.
Yeah, I guess, look, I think OP could be right because I think there's definitely, look, that's almost a trope, right? That the open relationship is the beginning of the end. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, no, it is such a trope, especially like, one person is really just kind of pushing to open up the relationship just so really they can sleep with other people and have it be okay. But like the other person kind of capitulates because they don't want to break up or whatever. Like that's the trope.
I mean, I get it, I understand. To me, it can make sense. And, I was dinged in the presses. It's just my delusional self-importance.
In the lamestream media.
Literally one person on Discord vaguely referenced something. And I'm like, the Times, the Washington Post, the powers that be have decided to finally come for me. Anyway.
That's so funny.
But that this has resonated with people that I said it was different to cheat when being blacked out. And the reason I reference that is because I think the sort of open relationship that I would be comfortable with is one where I know there's no meat there. I want minimal meat. I want it to be a sex thing. I'm more comfortable with it being a sex thing and way less comfortable with it being an emotional thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's another boundary that we have is that we don't date other people. We go on dates, but to me, we like, I don't know, I guess I'm defining dating in a weird way because going on dates is dating. But I mean, we don't call anybody else our boyfriend or girlfriend. There's no other, there's no throuple. There's,
you're not like
purely like friends with benefits or sex. And they can have, he can have relationships with other people in terms of he can just go out and have lunch with them or have dinner with them. I don't care. It's more so that I know for a fact that at the end of the night, I'm the one he's coming home to. And vice versa.
Yeah. I think that's a good set of rules. Has there ever been a situation?
It's about prioritizing. Like I need to make sure that I feel like I'm his first choice every time, and he feels the same way.
Yeah, I guess the problem I have when I think about this is, what are they seeking out? So I think I would have a lot of rules. I think I would have all these rules. I like your rules. I think I would also need to feel like if my girl was hooking up with like a macho bodybuilder guy, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. You want to fuck like a guy who's like has muscles and shit and, is probably fucking stupid, right? Like, I don't care. I'm not threatened by that.
Everybody needs a himbo every once in a while.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
A nice juicy himbo. But if she's like, oh, he has a podcast about the Today I Fucked Up subreddit, I'd be like, well, who the fuck is this? What kind of fucking loser has a subreddit podcast?
That's funny.
But let's go into the situation. Let me just say, even though I do think this OP is being pretty obnoxious, they're kind of not wrong, right? I don't know. This doesn't seem like a good situation for the friend.
Yeah, I feel like they could be onto something just because of the holistic picture where he's sleeping with people, she's not. He's also living at her house and not paying the bills. Like this whole holistic picture does not seem like an equitable relationship.
Yeah, I could agree with that. that for sure. I could see that from an outsider perspective. That's very much what it would look like. I guess my question would be for the girl is, does she feel like it's equitable? Because just because she's not sleeping with people doesn't necessarily mean she's not getting anything out of the open relationship.
Yeah, that's true. You're right, because it could just be attention, you know? Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty fair to say that it's not a great sitch, but it's not necessarily super toxic because we don't know the extent of it. I mean, I thought Sarah hit the nail on the head that there are capitulators who are just like, yes, we're open. But that's toxic. I would say that's self-toxic because you're being people pleasy, right? You're putting your partner's needs above yours, but you don't really want the open relationship. That's no good.
For sure.
Right. I guess we don't really know if she doesn't want the open relationship or if she just needs a little more from her boyfriend. Boyfriend, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think it is.
It says she and her partner.
Yeah, he's sleeping with people and she's not.
Oh, the guy. Okay, I see. Also, I want to say that her OP mentioning not paying any bills and living at her house, I feel like that's totally irrelevant.
Really? I think it's like, I think the open relationship part is maybe less relevant because to me it factors into just the whole like picture of what's going on.
Right, but that's the thing is I feel like it's painting a picture, even if it's true, it's like it's not actually relevant to the situation, so you're just throwing that in there to aid your point.
I mean, I gotta say, I think she smells what's cooking. I think my issue with OP is that this is not rendered in a way that felt like care and felt like having the friend's best interest at heart, and instead felt very judgmental and mean spirited. I mean, you know,
because I almost feel like for me the open relationship is almost the side part of it because, you know, she's going so far as to like really defend this concept. So maybe she is definitely down with it and just not interested in sleeping with anybody right now, you know? So I don't know. But I do feel like if your friend is depressed, the answer is not to be like, well, look at this. Like, you know.
Well, yeah, it's because your life's shitty. We all think your life fucking sucks. That's why you're depressed.
Thanks, Danny. You're such a good friend.
Yeah, me comforting Sarah. Oh, you can't sleep because everything is as exactly bad as you think. Go ahead,
Don't worry, we confirm your anxieties. Everything you think is true.
An anxiety we trust. Coming on a new sticker soon, folks. It's coming.
I will say, I think the onus is on the boyfriend of the relationship girl to make sure that whatever he's doing is like okay with her, because if he's sleeping with other people and she's not, and she is then saying she's not feeling confident and ugly, then they need to have a conversation of, okay, well, what's going on? Does he need to step back from these other women and focus his attention on her? Because I've gone through periods like that in my open relationship. I'm not a jealous person, but sometimes we'll just go through little phases where anxiety's higher. I just feel less attractive. And my boyfriend is immediately like, okay, I'm canceling my dates. You know, all my attention is on you. Let's have a date night. What do you want to do? You know, let's order a fucking pizza. Like, that's what I'm talking about prioritization.
That makes total sense. And it has to be dynamic because I think, if I may gender it up, I think women do go through phases of feeling ugly and things of this nature. That seems to be a recurring thing I've witnessed.
Sure. I feel like men would too.
I think anyone, I think anyone would. I mean, I think women are probably under
Danny's
more
like,
societal
I'm always
pressure.
hot.
I know,
I
right?
mean,
like,
I think I have my good moments, but I'm never like, oh, I'm having a bad week or something. Like I'm like, I need a haircut. That's a thought I'll have. You know, but I think I did good strategically. Like I identify as a 7. I think I'm maybe a hair higher, so I can kind of stay in that range. Sarah's laughing. She thinks I'm a 4. Anyway, I guess my only other angle on this thing is like, you know, going back to the holistic picture, is this a person who's just getting walked on in every single way? And I think it does kind of look like that, right? I think that's what Sarah's kind of on about, right? It's like he ain't paying bills, you know, he's doing nothing. He got nothing going on. And now he's not even, you know, now he's maybe, we don't know this, but maybe he's not even prioritizing her. And it's just like, how much more can this parasite extract? Potentially it does. That is what's happening.
Yeah, that's my read on the situation. But I also feel like, we covered it, how that was just not the approach at all.
Yeah, I think open relationships could be really cool, but I think you have to actually have a really healthy relationship. AITA, for telling my friend that her open relationship is making her look dumb. I think we all agree message could be correct, but the delivery here was the problem. What?
Classic Real Housewives trope. YTA.
Her heart's in the right place, but maybe not saying it makes her look dumb.
Real Housewives, it's always just like, oh, I apologize for my delivery is a big one. It's always the delivery they'll own up to, but never like actually what was said.
That's hilarious.
It's so good. One day I will get you on this train.
Hey, send me an episode, and I will probably.
Yeah.
I mean, look, now that this trial is ending up, I got nothing going on. This was my life. God. I'm in love with Camille Vasquez, but we'll get into that on the main. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us, Mia. It's been fun, and I hope you're open. When's opening night for the big play?
June 3rd.
Love it. Well, break a leg.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We welcome Shannon to the call-in show. Shannon from Virginia. Shannon, how's it going today?
Hello. How are you guys?
We're great. Good. Now, Shannon, you were telling us you currently live in Virginia, but you recently traveled all the way to Pennsylvania to see the Boyf. Is that correct?
Well, the Boyf's family.
Oh, the Boyf's family.
He's currently on deployment, so.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And he
left in December.
Where is he?
Yeah.
But he's in the Navy, and he's out on deployment.
Got it.
On a boat.
All right.
Wow. Can't give us the military secrets. We're good. We're not Al Qaeda. We promise. Just kidding. No pressure.
Wait, crazy that I just noticed there's a cat in the bottom of your screen. Has it been there the whole time? Okay. I'm like, wow, am I losing my mind?
Nope. He just jumped up on me.
So now you have to stay there forever.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
I'm curious, Shannon. We don't have to go here if you don't want, but I'm just wondering. You were in the military as well. I'm just curious if you had any. We hear a lot about women in tech facing annoying questions, mansplaining, things of this nature, and much more pernicious things.
That was not where I thought you were going to go. I was like, oh no. Okay.
Where did you think I was going to go?
Well, I definitely just people because I'm a female, they don't think that I'm even in the Navy. Mm. And then when I talk about it, they're like, oh, okay. They think that they don't believe me almost.
That's so annoying.
It's no, I was there. I would know.
Oh my gosh. Did you meet your boyfriend in the Navy?
I met our mutual friend, and then that's how we met.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we love to hear it. We also love a listener who brings their very own sitch. So this is a juicy one. Here we go, folks. AITA for buying the dress for my birthday that my dad's fiance wanted for her wedding. Yikes-a-roni, people.
This feels so similar to that mother-in-law situation, but the reverse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Women in their dresses, right? Just kidding.
Wow, there she is. Sarah representing the 1970s male comedians. We love to see it, people. Here we go. My dad is getting married this summer, and I've been struggling with some bad feelings. His fiance is 2 years older than me and 4 older than my younger sister. We hate
a midlife crisis.
So awkward.
Not a man marrying someone his daughter's age. OP goes on. I'm grossed out by the age, and it's just weird to see my dad act like a different person. He was a loving father, but extremely stoic and reserved, and now he's all happy and smiling all the time.
I'm uncomfortable with his joy.
I honestly...
It's so horrible.
Yeah, dad's happy. Yuck. I honestly find her pretty irritating, but my dad wants me to make an effort. We went shopping recently. I'm having a big 30th B-Day in June, and she's having her wedding in July. I needed a dress, and she wanted a second dress for her reception. We found a cocktail dress that we both liked. They had it in my size and in a couple colors, and they did carry it in white, but didn't have any in the store, and said they would get some at a later date, as they hadn't gotten all of the summer arrivals. Despite knowing we both liked it, she acted like she was definitely going to get it and didn't even talk it over with me. I left annoyed over the thing and decided first come, first serve. I went back the following day and purchased the dress. I did let her know so she wouldn't spend money and then feel blindsided at my party. It's fairly unique, and our friends are the type who would definitely notice. She ended up crying and saying I knew she was going to buy it, and I fucked up her wedding.
Oh, gosh.
She hung up, and my dad called me and said he was disappointed and he might not come to my party. Wow. I went from, hey, let dad be happy, to please please let dad be sad. He feels I did it to be mean to her and that she had dibs on it first and a wedding is more important. I feel like I physically got it first, so I had dibs, and I don't care if a wedding is more important. Life isn't fair. Wow. Yikes. She has a lot more opportunities to dress up than I do, and she already has her wedding gown. This is just a party dress, AITA.
Wow. I mean, I can see why dad is dating someone so much younger than him, because this is immature.
Absolutely.
I don't understand why I feel like she was doing it just to be vicious. It's so hard to tell because they're both I get why the girl wants to do it for her birthday, but then come on, just let her have it. It's a wedding dress.
But it's her wedding dress change of outfits.
True.
So to me, I'm like, that's bullshit. You don't need that.
That's
you can
double dipping.
Yeah, you can find another reception dress, like a little short white cocktail dress. I think they're both at the store at the same time. I kind of think they both have an equal claim.
I feel the same way. I mean, I forgot that it was the second dress. I don't know that you get to have double reservations, but I think I could ding people more for the interpersonal aspect here. Now, OP, some of their wording, I think, caught us all off guard. She's mad about dad being happy, which that was weird. But I first ding the young bride-to-be here because she really seemed to take it, and OP doesn't give us a lot of detail, but she ends up crying and saying she knew that OP was going to buy it. And that feels already like a very charged emotional interaction, right? It's like, not only did you do something I hate and I'm crying, I also knew you were going to do it anyway. That's very malicious.
I thought what she meant was OP knew that fiancé intended to buy the dress.
She ended up crying and saying, I knew she was going to buy it. Oh, so she was accusing OP. Oh, I see. So it wasn't
kind of buying it out from under her nose.
Even so, I mean, I still think that carries the same malice, but I mean, OP was doing that.
OP was doing that, but I kind of am didn't they both kind of say oh yeah, this is cute, I might get it, or no?
Yeah, I mean, she even asked,
did they both kind of do that passive aggressive thing where they're yeah, it's cute, I might buy it, and then
yeah, because she says they did carry it in white, but didn't have any in store, and so that OP saw that as an opportunity to get it first.
So then the birthday dress isn't even white.
Right, it's just another color.
Right.
Is it that big of a deal?
So, no, I mean,
I don't think so. It's what's happening at your 30th birthday party? You're not having Getty images there.
right.
Just who's gonna remember?
Really gonna remember what you wore.
Yeah.
The Getty images benchmark. If Getty isn't there, then you need to cool it about a second dress. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's her friends will put some Instagram stories and whatever, but how much of an overlap is there going to be at the wedding? And then who's going to really notice? But I don't know. I guess why didn't OP just buy the dress when she was at the store there instead of having to go back later? That's what's kind of weirdly sneaky about it, I guess.
I mean, look, I think OP has a lot of hostility. I don't think they're even really hiding it. And I will ding OP for dropping this boomerism bullshit. Life isn't fair. That's like the get out of jail free card for I just did something really asshole-ish for no reason. Oh, life isn't fair. It's well, yeah, but you're still being an asshole.
Yeah. Life isn't fair because of I don't know, systemic problems and things that happen outside of your control. Not because one person decides to be a dick.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a lot of issues with dad, obviously. I think the way he handled this was, first of all, very toxic, that he threatened to not go to the party. He didn't seem to approach it with openness and understanding. I don't think he is being very understanding, right? I mean, I don't think it needs to be a permanent issue that dad is dating someone his daughter's age. That said, I do think it's on dad to address the issue, talk through the issue, because I think daughter's pissed off by it.
I mean, yeah, it's just it's not just that he's dating her, it's that he's going to marry her. So now it is a permanent issue. I don't know.
Well, I guess what I'm vying for here is is it inherently wrong? I don't think it is. I think I understand why the daughter's testy.
Yeah.
But it's something that they needed to work through. And I think dad
before the wedding.
Exactly. And I think dad has obviously not tried to do that. It seems like his attitude has been very much this is just the way it is. I love her. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Oh my God. Look how happy I am. La-di-da.
He really is very happy, though.
God, I get OP, though. I can't, thing is, I'm on OP's side because it's so, it's such a bad cliche.
Take me through it, though. Beyond the cliche, right?
Why, like, okay, I mean, as a guy, this would be like my mom dating a guy my age, which is incomprehensible to me. Basically nonsense language. But how do you think,
same.
Yeah, I mean, is that it? It's just, it would feel really gross because it's really weird.
It feels gross because, you know what, like having watched my parents have a happy 35-year marriage, if that were, knock on wood, like all of a sudden to end and my dad were to do something so transparently, like with his dick, that's what would be impossible for me to get over.
Very well put. Very well put. Transparently with his dick.
Thank you.
A poem for the modern age. So there's no question in my mind that dad's an asshole. I think there's enough of not putting daughter first. But you know, daughter, she's a grown adult, right? She's 30, she said, something like that. I think
turning 30.
She's turning 30. She's a grown up. I still do think she is kind of, you know, she's throwing gas on the hostility fire.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to bring her into A territory? Very hard for me to do that.
It's petty. Like, I feel like she tried to have plausible deniability, but I think we can see that she probably bought it out of spite and because she also wanted it. I think the inconvenience to the fiancé was probably a bonus factor that factored in. So I'm not sure. I mean, Reddit definitely seems ready to call her the asshole.
Let's get into some comments here. Monster of Moons writes, let's be honest, you did it to be mean. You're clearly mad at dad. You say now he's happy like it's a bad thing, and I think you feel that way. Is it just that she's only a couple years older than you, or is there something else? Okay, guys, but that is sufficient, I think.
Yeah, I don't think there needs to be anything else. Like, I'm sorry. Is it fair to, like, come at her for her age and the fact that she, like, fell in love with this guy? Not really, but I think it's understandable.
Well, I just think I think this all relies on the father-daughter relationship. You know, this comment goes on to say, find a professional to talk to. You got something going on. YTA,
Okay, come on. Anyone would be upset about this. Like,
yes.
'Cause you know what it also is, too? Because it's like, I think that you think that your parents should be, like, older and mature. And, like, obviously, like, even if they find your contemporaries attractive, I feel like that's different than actually, like, dating someone. In the same way that, like, you can look at, like, I can look at, like, a 21-year-old actor and be like, yeah, that guy's hot. Like, he's conventionally hot, but, like, would I date a 21-year-old? No.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not saying it's wrong to date down by at least 18 years, assuming he had her at 18.
Sure.
Probably more, though, probably like 25 years. I don't think it's inherently wrong, but I think it's, you know, I think you put it right. Like, it's definitely going to cause friction. It's definitely uncomfortable. It definitely feels like thinking with your dick energy. And I think father needed to understand that and empathize with her instead of, it seems his approach has been very much like, this is just how it's going to be, honey.
Yeah, and like, you need to accept it.
Shannon, where are you on this? How are you feeling?
I mean, I kind of side with OP because I feel like the dad definitely could be more understanding, and the fact that he's not going to the party, that's kind of rude. Like, that's your daughter still at the end of the day. And then I feel like neither one of them now should just have the dress. I mean, you're going to be family. Like, it's your dad. And I mean, if you guys can't come to a conclusion, then neither one of you should. And the dad should be the one to do that. But he's kind of siding with the young, hot girlfriend, and he's not thinking about his family. And he should. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. She's kind of an asshole for, like, taking it, like, when the fiance wanted it. But I don't know.
I think Reddit.
No, go ahead.
Reddit is pretty divided here. Actually, the top comment did go YTA, but I'm doing a search here. YTA, there's about 40 of those puppies, and we got about 43 NTAs. Though it just searched for the word judgmental, so that might be a bit biased. I guess for me, because NTA is in the word judgmental, didn't need to explain it, but I did it anyway.
No, I didn't get it, so that does help. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, AITA for buying the dress for my birthday that my dad's fiance wanted for her wedding. I mean, for me, it's too hard. Like for title literal, I would say YTA, but like to me, the context is clear. I think there's a reason OP is mad about this happiness, and that lays on dad. I don't think dad is communicating, and I really hate the way he approached this conflict. And this conflict to me screams, it's her first, not you, honey. And that's always going to be a cardinal sin for me, not putting your kids first.
Agreed.
Then I do believe we are in sweet, sweet assonance, folks. AITA for buying the dress. It's weird how ass is in that. I don't know if I'm comfortable. AITA for buying the dress for my birthday that my dad's fiance wanted for her wedding. I think we all agree. NTA. And she and him are.
Why is she the asshole?
Because we don't. I thought you guys were with me on her being so aggressive, saying it's ruining her wedding, crying.
Oh, yeah, that's dramatic. It's your second dress. Like, relax.
Yeah.
Right? That's like manipulative, emotional, immature.
It's definitely immature, which is like, again, yeah.
And I'm not dinging her for being emotional because whatever, people are emotional, but like she didn't need to throw.
Second wedding dress. Like, yeah. This is
Or
not
just
like
wear the
really
dress
a
that you're
thing.
getting married in.
That's what I don't get. I'm sorry. Like, that's my own personal bias. But I'm like, you're spending thousands of dollars on a wedding dress. You're not even going to wear it for 8 hours. Like, this is your one moment.
You're paying $500 an hour to wear this thing.
Basically.
Once.
All right. Well, I think we all agree. This one's going NTA. We are fighting against the Reddit waters.
Yeah.
Shannon, thank you so much for joining us. We love to see it. Thanks for bringing this great sitch.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice being here. Sorry for all the, the like static and stuff.
No, you're
It's all
great.
good. We might
That
even
was
leave some of
super
those
fun.
meows. We might leave some of those
So
meows in the
cute.
recording. The listeners love the cats.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.